wonder if that's too loud. Huh. Where did I put my phone? Alright. Let's see here. See what we got. Boop. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. I think I did it fine. I think it's just a good. Okay. Junko's dead. Poor thing. I think it was here. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so Chihiro died last time, and we're about to do the second trial. Now, from what I remember, and I think I remember most of the stuff from last week, she was killed in the boys' locker room because she stole Leon's tablet. Her tablet broke somehow. Well, she borrowed it. She dressed up as a dude to get into the locker room. Killer swapped the mats somehow and the posters, which is very sloppy work, I gotta say. Don't know how he got into the girls' room. Not sure about that. That's a little weird. I should be fine. I'm gonna accuse someone right off the bat. I think so it has to be a dude, right? I think it's not Byakuya. It's not Taka. I don't think it's Mondo, because he made a promise to her and everything, and he was, like, kind to her. So, like, I don't think it's Mondo. I don't think it's Ufumi. The only dude I'm pretty sure would be Hiro. So it might be Hiro. And then, I don't know, if there's a girl, she's not labeled as dead yet? Okay. What happens if I look at... Huh. Yeah, I have no clue. I guess Hiro is the only good thing to accuse, good one to accuse. So is everyone ready to... What? Am I blind or are we missing someone? Yeah. Toko's not here. Toko is... You really don't remember? Oh, kidding. I'm just kidding. How could I forget that little nut job? She's a crucial part of the class trial this time. Okay, Toki, I'll go ahead and drag her out here, kicking and screaming. Just one moment, please. Just like he said a few minutes later, he reappeared, dragging Toko behind it. Hold on, let me turn that down. Alright. Told him I didn't want to, but he forced me. I can't believe you would drag a girl around. Terrible, you're terrible. So now everyone's here, right? Okay, then hustle on to the elevator and let's get this show on the road. See you guys down there. Shall we get going? It's time to find out who killed Chihiro. She was so gentle, so calm and meek. Nobody had any problems with her. Someone made the choice to kill a girl like that. Could have been anyone else. And that murderer is one of us. I don't have my soundboard on. Hold on. I gotta do the thing. Why do you have it on? Wow. That's a first. And that murderer is one of us. Someone's standing right here. Alright. You ready? We doing this? I don't know why the killer did what they did, but I'm sure it'll work itself out. Justice always prevails. Right, bro? I'll uncover the villain who performed such heinous acts on a weaker individual. I don't think any of the girls did it. Because, like...
Shall we go?
Yeah, nobody really had a problem with her. I must admit, for being 3D, she was quite remarkable. You're all 2D. Of course, just the idea of 3D makes me cringe.
Hey, come
Toko,
on.
man. What got her so worked up? You always say that. Alright. There's something odd about Toko's behavior. I do not think mere shock is enough to explain it. Guess I wasn't much help at all on this one. Blech. Gave you plenty to work with. Show us how far your logic can take you. Alright. We have no choice, right? We have to do this.
It's true.
I gave a small non-reply. With one last deep breath, I walked toward the elevator on shaky legs. With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. As soon as everyone was on, I began to descend. Couldn't get a handle on my emotions. Couldn't stop speculating. Zero. I don't know who else it would be. Steel box sank with heavy clunking sounds deeper and deeper into the ground. The only other one I think it might be is Mondo, but, like, I don't think it's Mondo. Elevator was unaffected, however, and continued to descend without hesitation. Until finally, came to a sudden stop. What do you think? I redecorated. Isn't it so fresh? Isn't it exciting? Don't waste our time with stupid questions. Let's get this over with. Oh, good. You're raring to go. Gotta say, I don't hate it. Not at all. Okay then, let's get this show on the road.
Thrills, chills,
Please find your assigned seats. Curtain opened once again. Deadly judgment, deception, betrayal. Deadly riddle, defense, faith. Deadly class trial. Okay, let's go. Boop. So my skills. I currently have attentive influence. Which, okay. And I got robot jock. Breathing technique. Focus gauge recovers more quickly. Effective during the non-stop debate, Hangman's Gambit, and bullet time battle. Is that the only one? I thought I got another one. Huh, maybe not. Okay, well, that's fine. I've seen this anime.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class
Again, I don't need an explanation.
So, your votes
Also,
will
hi.
determine the
How you
results.
doing, champion? This is my first time playing
If you
this
can
game.
figure out who
I'm on
done
the
it,
second class
then
trial
only
to
they
give you a
will
good.
receive
It's
punishment.
Chihiro.
But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the black.
I'm pretty
and
sure you do this
okay
every
then.
time because I think you did
First
this.
off, let's talk about the murder weapon.
Okay, no, I don't think that happened the first time. You have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. The class trials are really fun, judging specifically off of the first one. Hi, Mary. Locker room dumbbell.
Chihiro's fatal injury.
I forget which. Is it just X or is it triangle? Hold up. Triangle.
It appears it was
Yes.
the head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I mean,
I bet it was an iron
no,
pipe.
it wasn't.
Interesting. That certainly would make for a powerful weapon.
Oh wait, that wasn't the right one. What was the button I need? Hold up. I need to remember controls. That was concentrate. I don't want concentrate. I wanna. It's circle. Fast forward to circle. Okay. So the thing that Hero said.
Chihiro's, it appears
appears it was.
According to the Monokuma file, the
Sped up
blunt instrument could
Sakura's.
Iron pipe.
Interesting.
Oh shoot, I missed that.
It certainly would.
Hold up.
Chihiro's, it appears it was.
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
I was so focused on Sakura sounding weird.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell found at the scene
It's
of the
pretty
crime?
obvious, guys.
It was covered
iron
in
pipe.
blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind
Mary,
of
I don't know if you just got here or if you if you heard who I accused, but I'm pretty sure it's
The
Hero.
wound on the victim's
I think
head
it's
is
Hero.
consistent with the
That
shape
did
of
it.
the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her
Yeah.
head wound?
Yes! That's so creepy!
Not that creepy.
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to
It's
discussion of the culprit.
investigating.
Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already...
Me too, Byakuya, but let's hear what you have to say.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer,
Nope.
Genocide Jack.
Red herring. That's too easy. Red herring. Did he really kill Chihiro? A new element has been added to non-stop debates? Sure. For this debate, lines of white noise... Oh, here we go. Okay. White noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Truth bullets will disappear if they hit these lines, so think of them as obstacles. There's a way to keep this white noise from... Hero, put your hands down. You too, Byakuya. There's a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press X button to attach the silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. If you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, time limit will decrease, so take careful aim when you have your silencer out. If your action difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear. In which case, you can forget about all of this. Okay, so silencer, speed up, truth bullet.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible.
Why?
What's
What makes
all of
it
this?
impossible?
Well, I mean, come on. There's just no proof.
Is that the white noise?
Hey, so, speaking of Genocide Jack, I don't know who that is!
The culprit is
Case closed.
But that's impossible.
What was the other one that I could shoot?
Well, I mean, there's just no,
No proof for it.
for it.
Hey, so...
Man,
speaking of,
I'm
I
terrible
don't know who
aiming
that
today.
is.
God.
The culprit is Case
Shut up,
closed.
Byakuya.
Why?
Well, I mean, there's just no proof for
There you
it.
go. I didn't think the white noise would be purple words going across the screen. I thought it would be, I don't know, static.
I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive
I
in
found
the
it
library.
all by myself.
I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide
I
Jack
think
case.
characteristics weird.
The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob
I'm sorry?
No. It's actually blood.
Hafumi what?
But more important is the other characteristic.
Can he be next?
And it's something
I hope
that
he
has
did it.
never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell
I
them,
don't wanna.
Makoto?
The other characteristic, which the world at large doesn't know, it has to do with the positioning of the body, where the murder took place, the bloody message left behind, how the victim was positioned.
I got it!
Alright, I got it.
Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, The only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials
Her
were
eyes
aware
bother
of it?
me in this screenshot every time. It just looks weird.
There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is
Might be
one of
Leon.
us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
I'm
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
glad he just up and said it, because he already knows it.
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has like bloodophobia.
Bloodophobia or whatever.
What kind of serial killer
I
is
mean,
afraid of
me
blood?
too, you know, I don't remember what it's called.
Is
I would say
Toko
bloodophobia.
Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle. Man, why is this gotta be so
Because you did it. Riddle for sure, but I feel like I understand it. What it means for Jack to be Toko, but also to not be Toko. She's not just one person, but multiple people, right? Which one's the... Oh, right, okay. Now, what was it, hair the first time? I'm so stupid. I want to check. I can't check. Nope. I don't remember. It's probably S. Yeah. Th. Is it? Are you trying to make me spell? Yeah, you are. Where's the O?
Now I understand. Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
I am ending the stream already. You're so late. Dude, what's wrong with you? Like how it made me spell out schizo. That's not where I thought it was gonna go.
Somewhere in the file,
So I didn't think about it too long.
They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable.
Yeah.
Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split
Busy
personality.
doing what? Oh. Busy doing what? What? Toko could have a split personality. It has to do with her behavior. She arrived late. She fainted. Her behavior changed. I mean, yeah, her.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back.
Going
She
bandits.
fainted when she
Those
saw
guys didn't do
Chihiro's
anything to
corpse,
you.
And then, when she woke up,
She stuck out her tongue and was very creepy. I'm not reading this again. Yeah. I hate that portrait. Like, I really hate that portrait. Toko's bad.
She was acting funny, that's for sure.
No, I wasn't laughing.
Melancholy tonifers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Shut up,
not to
Toko.
mention, once she regained consciousness
Shut up.
and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her
It's not
one
Toko.
personality
Red herring.
that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
That's too easy. It's not her. I refuse. I mean, she literally just said that. Did she not know?
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from
Okay,
getting
so
out.
she does know about it. she's just faking it right now. Because she seemed really confused that, that Byakuya was like, yeah, no, Toko's Jack. And she's like, what? No, that's ridiculous. You're stupid. Sam, don't look it up. What's wrong with you? Don't be a Mary. Come on. Also, thank you, Mary. I know you won't say it.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
I have a guess as to who it is. But...
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Betrayal.
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude.
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
Hina, buddy, friend.
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
Confession.
Promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself
Maybe
to
you
blame.
shouldn't have done it.
You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't
Dude,
ask you
Byakuya sucks.
This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your
I wonder if he's
promise
trying
first.
to get Jack to come out.
You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise,
I couldn't keep our promise. That's what she meant last time. I won't let Jack have control.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me.
They both suck.
That's the only reason I promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that.
I believe Byakuya. He probably didn't.
But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it. But
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
No,
I
you
hate
don't.
you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
Person, you
How you gonna summon him?
mean.
You're just gonna bash her in the head? Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. Huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second, she got the worst portrait. Ugh.
Well, hello there. Is it me you were hoping
It's
to
bad.
see?
It's bad.
What?
Fufumi, me too.
So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
Can't assume genders.
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko. That's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality.
Is this the same voice actor? Because she did a really good job. Like, wow.
So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's fault.
Look at that. Look at her go. He did it. Maybe. I don't know.
Murderous mind, sound, and murderous body.
It had to have been a dude, though.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a
Put your tongue away. You're gonna bite it.
Dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun.
She had a lot of fun with the laughing. This is the murderous fiend, Genocide Jack. No, it's Jill. You're gonna get canceled, Makoto. This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Yeah, sure. What's up? Hmm?
us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds. Just kidding.
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true. How dare you try to link me to that freakazoid?
Rip.
And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless. I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all
Yeah.
over town.
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people.
I love the line, sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but...
It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone.
Just kidding again.
Look at her go.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's
And then she's
death.
just like, no, no, no. Wait, no, I didn't do that.
There's clearly a
I
motive,
may
so
be
there should be no
insane,
doubt.
but I didn't do that.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be
Was hers
revealed.
that she...
Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about
Yeah.
genocide death. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself
True.
exposed.
But I'm not falling for it.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the
Yeah.
culprit.
Yeah. I believe her.
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
I mean, she's the prime suspect, but like...
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's
Somebody
the
found out
truth.
that Jack, Jill, was... 3 names. I don't know which to go by. Was in school with them. Somehow. And about the second... The hanging pose. And decided to frame her. Somehow. I'm not sure how.
Do you really expect any of us
Yes.
to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you
Monster. You don't belong in this world. Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. What she said, I need to get some more details about all of this. Alright. Status of the dead body.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches...
Objection! What's a modus operandi?
Do we need?
Also, it's operandi, isn't it? I guess that's actual Greek.
Give it up. You killed her.
Makoto doesn't know what MO is.
Sorry, but I didn't
That's probably right.
You say that, but do you really expect any...
Perhaps if you had an...
Oh, an alibi.
When you compare your past murder, the modus operandi matches...
I guess MO is the one that I shoot.
Give it up. You killed her.
Sorry, but I
Hmm.
didn't say that.
Perhaps if you had an...
Oh, an alibi.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
No, it's wrong.
Why did I lose 5 seconds? I mean, I hit silencer on accident, but I didn't think...
Are the methods of murder really
That
exactly
shot.
the same? I'm not so sure about that.
I misunderstood what the silencer does, I think.
I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Oh, right. It was scissors in the pictures. I forgot about that.
Oh, you don't know?
Here it was blunt trauma.
Human garbage? Let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything.
I'm not picky about any of that.
But what happened to Chihiro?
I just like noodles.
It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef
I wasn't
Boyardee.
expecting a Chef Boyardee name drop in Danganronpa, but you know what? What was I expecting?
This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
One clear difference between the murders. Photos, look at the neck and stomach. You'll see a clear difference. Fatal injury, the style of the bloody message.
I got it! For one, the cause of
Oh, it
death
sure
is
is. Good job, Makoto.
in the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors.
A bunch of pairs of scissors, but
Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change
I mean,
their
not
method?
necessarily given the location, because, I mean, where are you gonna find a bunch of scissors? I doubt there are that many scissors in the school. Like, it's not that weird given the circumstances.
And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini,
I want tortellini.
then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto.
Pesto is bad.
sauce.
Could you please stop comparing killing people?
Why'd you do it?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
The second difference is related to how she was suspended. In photos of the other Jack cases, all the other victims were stabbed through their hands. Here you'll see a clear difference. When she was... What was used?
I got it! Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up
Makoto.
with her wrists.
What is your point?
We figured this out,
Well,
buddy.
In all the previous Genocide
wasn't
Jack
rope.
cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp
Which-
scissors.
I didn't realize that they were so in the wall. Like, how did she do that?
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement.
Impressive.
Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the
Glad she's
tools
so
I
open
use.
about it.
And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences. But
Big Mac.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Why are you calling him Big Mac?
actually one more difference.
Why are you calling him Big Mac?
Huh?
I don't understand. Maybe Hifumi.
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the
Mary, I don't understand.
Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to
A pattern,
be
you say?
discovered.
Pattern.
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little
Wow.
lolly girl.
A pattern surrounding the Jack victims, and Chihiro didn't fit it. If you look at the names of every victim, what you'll notice is... I think I figured it out. I know why she couldn't kill Chihiro. Her lover was a girl. Wasn't her friend. Yeah, because others were dudes. It's not because she was a friend.
Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo, bullseye, right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They all dudes. All two of them. Oh, and all of the names.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I killed with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men!
Jill's just like Byakuya. You're next. You're next, buddy.
I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl! inside of me just
Oh my
hates
god.
it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged Venom!
I hate this.
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill him?
Well, that's
When
nice.
Italian chefs suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid.
I love the analogies.
I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it.
We get it. You
Clearly
like
explain
Italian
your hobby
noodles.
and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly, cur.
I want that on the soundboard.
I would never kill for a reason as petty as
That was
mere
delivered so
survival.
well.
And if by some fluke I did kill
Music
to
stopped.
survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious
Yeah, really.
suspect.
That does make some amount of sense.
Everybody just murmurs. Well, yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Who would be strong enough to lift it?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Thank you, Hifumi.
Don't just use
Yeah, it's her own, but still.
I only use my own set of high-class
Envy of the entire world.
scissors.
Okay, whatever. Still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
Oh. She got an anime pose. Look at her.
She's fully equipped.
I will now kill all of you.
That's right. So I can kill anywhere.
Where'd you get those from?
anytime. Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. You can't, can you, gutter dog?
Now, because of this, I can only assume that Toko's never gonna kill anyone. At all. So she's probably gonna be a victim at some point. Because, like, we already know all of her things. So it'd be like, yeah, no, Toko did it. She confessed all of this last time. No clue how to tie a good knot, neither. Well,
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be
sorry,
innocent?
Taka.
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Hold on, there is one person who could have copied the Jack cases. Hold on. Are we about to point at Byakuya? Because it's not Byakuya. I mean, he's the only other one that knew about the things, so I think they want me to point at him. But it's not Byakuya.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it?
My, how the tables have turned.
You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already
My
looked at
turns
genocide
how the
Jack
tables
before
have.
this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami?
God, I hope he did it. He didn't do it, but I hope he did it.
Then the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire.
Oh man, I hate her.
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
My two least favorite characters are the center of this trial.
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me.
Interesting.
Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely
Yeah, you were never suspicious, unfortunately. Except for, like, the day you were born.
Back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
And then Byakuya's like, wait, no. Eh? Aren't the locker rooms suspicious? Wink. Nudge.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it?
If it's the thing that I'm thinking, there was a clear contradiction in what Byakuya just said. Ah, contradictions. Need to make it clear to everyone. A new element. New elephant. Truth flashback. If you aim at a weak spot and hold down the triangle button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. This memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. What? If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your cylinder. However, you can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answer to a lie or contradiction in your loaded bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use that to make your case. Once the best time of flashback, you'll just have to use your keen wits, won't you? In this case, though, I will say that if you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. Good luck and have fun. I'm not sure I understand. Monokuma File 2.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird...
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely
Shut up, Ifumi.
take it. That's a natural reaction for any guy.
Not Byakuya.
The victim was Chihiro, who
This.
was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was
He
no
wouldn't have
time
known
for
that the victim was
pointless
Chihiro
distractions.
first.
What's so strange about that?
you wish you'd taken
Oh,
me
shut up.
with you.
Okay, so I want to try that,
So, you said Byakuya, but he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker
So,
There was no time. What's
I
so
save
strange?
it.
You wish you'd taken me with you.
and then...
So, you
Hold
said
on, how do I
Byakuya
change the bullets? Isn't it... Oh, it's L1.
was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Okay, I see. So I take one thing and then shoot the other thing with it.
That's unnatural. The
Got
victim-
it.
So of course I would. There was no time. What's so strange? You wish you'd taken me with you.
So,
Okay.
you said Byakuya
So,
was
oh,
acting
I keep
kind of
pressing
weird
X.
before we found
It's
the
triangle. What? Something weird's going on? Need to think about it.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was
Alright,
acting
so
weird
maybe
before
I
we
just...
found the
What is
body.
Monokuma File 2? Hold up. The victim... Death...
Either check out
I
the
keep
girls'
doing that.
That's a natural reaction for any guy.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl.
Uh-oh. No, I mean, yes, but no. Maybe... Okay, hold on. I did it backwards. I keep pressing the wrong buttons. I have to hold triangle.
The victim, what, so of course
Okay,
there was no
so I have to
time.
take
What's so
Hina's
strange?
statement
You wish
and
you'd
shoot
taken me with
Byakuya's.
you.
So,
Before
you
we
said
found the body.
Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found but he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity,
That's a natural reaction for
The victim was Chihiro.
There we go.
No, it's wrong.
Him mentioning, of course, we can check the girl.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that.
It can only be the yellow stuff.
Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the
Yeah,
victim
exactly.
was.
I just didn't know how to put that into words, apparently.
So your claim that you went to the
We
girls'
shoot
locker room
girl.
first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a
Yeah,
good
okay,
answer,
that's fair.
I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still
That's not...
too weak.
You can't... So, You found conclusive evidence. Your reasoning's weak.
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got
Shut up, Edgeworth!
Go ahead. Show us.
What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is.
I
think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
Kyoko. The differences between this case and other Jack murders. Evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is hidden in there? What could it be? Oh, man. Alright. Library desk lamp.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed.
Rope. Dude.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I've never seen that.
You
rope
have.
before in my
You
life.
have.
Obviously, somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
Okay, so I'd probably just have to shoot that. The flashback bullets, is a problem. Makes me overthink things.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
No, that's wrong.
No, shut up.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder.
It sure did.
And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as
I really
you do
want it to be
would
Byakuya.
discover
I think
that.
Makoto also wants it to be Byakuya. I think everybody does.
And Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something
Wow.
like this.
Good job, guys. I'm the killer. I did it. Whoa, you really think that? Whoa.
I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote
Look
that
at him
bloody
confessing.
I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
Yes? He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
Shut up.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I think I got it wrong.
Just a second. I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
He did it. It's him. It's him! There can only be one
But
hero.
still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still
Your
bothering
face.
you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised
Look at him
my
confessing!
Specifically,
I mean, I
dressed
guess
it
that's
up
what
to
happened.
make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait, was that just now? Something's not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean... Can't really just accept what Byakuya said as truth? No, I don't think so. There's definitely something off about what he said. The extension cord. The scene.
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing.
Disappointed!
What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
You okay?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
Yeah, I'm still not sure how that happened. Curious about that.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who'd been so confident up till now, made Byakuya never even realize that the actual scene of... Oh, maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Not be dumb. Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. There was something that was switched. I mean, there were a few things that were switched. But we're gonna go with the, where is it? I passed it. There it is. The locker room posters. I guess technically the carpet, isn't it?
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere
It was
else
pretty
is
obvious.
the poster that's hanging
Everybody
in the
here is
locker room.
stupid.
Your proof is some
Byakuya.
posters?
Oh,
Are you dumb? Is the glasses on a little
Poster
too
in the
tight?
girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you
You
think
could have
that's
just
kind of
said a
strange?
supermodel.
Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
Hey, don't judge.
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
You're probably not wrong.
Meanwhile,
Nobody's gonna
the boys'
acknowledge that.
locker room
Alright.
had a poster of the super popular boy band
Look,
Tornado.
they have some really good songs.
Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So judgmental, Makoto.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
I could have a poster of NSYNC behind me. The only weird thing about that is that they're from the 90s and they're like dead.
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right,
You
Sakura?
know.
You're referring to
Wink.
my protein coffee, aren't you? Protein coffee? While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet.
It happens. I get the
But I
shakes.
noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No. It wasn't scrubbed. It was moved. Blam.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Okay, hold on. I wanna know how this evidence is being presented. Cause like before now, it was just them talking, right? But did Makoto take a picture or something? Can you take a picture with like the iPad things? Cause did he just like, yeah, so this is all the stuff. Here's the carpet stain.
Then, does that mean that the carpet was
Yes, I
switched?
want to know how.
But why would
I
they
don't
do
want to know
that?
why, I want to know how.
To move the murder scene from one locker room
There's
to the
heavy
other.
equipment on
It's
those.
certainly plausible.
You can't just move them.
What? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the carpet bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene
How?
to crime? Actually, a
You're
killing
all
did
weak except for
just
Sakura, and she didn't
the
do it.
murder did take place in the boys' locker room.
Sakura could do it.
Then how did
With
Chihiro get in the boys'
one,
locker
yeah,
room
I
in the
mean,
first place?
but we already know that.
To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls'
She
locker
stole
room.
Leon's.
She had no way to get into the boys'
These
locker
fit together.
room to begin
Look
with.
to your left, Celeste.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell
Yeah?
you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how.
You're
she
so
could've
quiet
done
all the
it.
time, Hero. Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? The broken handbook.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker
A
room
boy toy.
somehow?
That no.
I got it. She must have hacked her e-handbook.
No, it wasn't
She
hacking.
was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her. No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Okay.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about
Yeah.
Leon's handbook, of course. If she had that, she could get into the boys' locker room no problem.
Though I don't know what to shoot. I'm wondering if it's a flashback one.
Could Chihiro really have got...
I got it. She must
Hacked her
have
handbook.
e-handbook. She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have been. No, I don't think she used the thing that. I'm talking about.
I don't know what to shoot. I guess Leon's handbook?
Leon's handbook, of course.
Okay.
No, it's wrong.
What do you mean, no? Shoot yourself?
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Why not? Caitlin says you're crazy for walking to work, let alone even going. Well, she's crazy.
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
I want to know if I'm on the Facebook, if I'm famous yet. Because, like, a lot of people were just slowing down and looking at me, and I'm like, hello. It's fine. It wasn't that cold out. It was just
Yeah,
snowing.
I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
What are you gonna do? I want to see.
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing.
Loopholes.
In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
You don't care about your employee's safety before they need to travel to work because you couldn't close for every single day. But then you'll get blocked. Tara's gonna be mad at you.
She must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and.
Psst. You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook,
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just
That can't
wrong?
be right.
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Well, you care more about making money than the lives of your employees. People are crashing into ditches. What's wrong with you?
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
That it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room and Byakuya is the one who did it. Really? Still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second.
Kyoko was like, no. Everybody's wrong. You're gonna get us killed. Toxic.
I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So,
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained
What?
access.
what?
What are you talking about?
Me too. I'm lost.
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to
Can we
come
do
see
that?
something.
I feel like we'll get killed.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
A break? You can't do that. I never approved of this.
Don't worry. This
It's
will make
okay.
the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Man. Wait, that
For
works?
real? Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
Huh. Okay. Recess. Let's play some Jenga. Before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead. Where she took us was... Okay.
The girls' locker room? We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more
What?
time.
You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her.
You're not allowed to touch her.
Like using our
Please, she's
hands?
dead.
No way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a
Who's gonna complain?
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything. It's just based on religious
That's
grounds.
kind of fair. You have a fair argument.
Very well. I'll
Okay.
do it.
But you're a girl.
That
You shouldn't
doesn't
have to touch a dead
mean
body.
anything, Hina.
Just let one of the boys
Get
do
with the times.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl
Fair.
examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura.
What is this? Some kind of secret
You're not allowed in here
collection?
either.
Is that what
Even
you
if
two
you
are about?
Hifumi, go sit outside.
That's not it at all. Stop
And
fooling
Byakuya, because he
around.
sucks.
Okay.
Do the
here I
thing.
go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular
What are you...
mystery.
Kyoko, stop being so...
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
What? Can I examine the entire body? I'm curious.
What is it? Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy.
She what? No, that can't be right. Oh, yeah.
So she
What?
was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
Me too. Hifumi.
You what?
You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
So wait, did Sakura... Ha... No. I don't wanna...
Chihiro was a guy?
But how?
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat.
I knew that. This is not interesting. You all die. Do you remember the new deli deal? $8 each, a bucket of single bone baby raccoons. Pretty sure that's been a thing going on. It sucks. Those things suck.
Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a
Duh.
guy.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had
I don't have one of those.
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
He got into the boys' locker room
I do
legally.
apologize for keeping you waiting.
No
Now
workarounds.
then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
That seems really random. The thought had never crossed my mind.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion.
Which, that might have been his secret.
The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So, who would he... Yeah, that makes sense.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
So somebody would have had to know that he was a dude and go hanging out with him to exercise, weight training, because he didn't want to go with Sakura or Hina because he couldn't reveal that he was a dude. So okay.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female
What are you talking about?
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become
Not quite.
clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever.
It's still you,
think
right?
you're the killer,
Why would he set
remember?
foot in the gym?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
Ah, he's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
I still think it's either Hiro or the only other one I can think of is Mondo, but like I don't think it's Mondo.
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it.
Because Mondo made a promise to him.
But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him
That's
in the
because
first
I hate him.
place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it?
Yeah.
Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any...
Unless he's a good actor, I mean.
So
Well, that
that's
hurt.
your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct.
Correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter
Wait.
it.
Are you
What?
fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important.
I'd say both are important.
Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going?
It's you.
We're all
It's
good,
you.
aren't we?
It's
I
him.
thought
It's
it was
him.
clear
Why would he?
Mafia did it.
Why would he? No, we don't need to keep going.
No, I'm with McClure.
Please.
If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility. Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an
You
ant
might
or
be.
something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
We weren't playing hide and seek. It was Jenga. I want to see. You should take a picture and send it to me. Who's the real killer? Who murdered her? Him. There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. He's able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means the killer is a guy. Is Jack.
I got it!
I hope Luke sees. Why are... I want to see it before it gets gone. Because it will get gone. Dude, why'd you do that? It will get deleted. You'll probably get kicked. Physically, since the crime scene was the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. But that's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Celeste's account. I don't remember what it was. Most likely, it will get deleted as long as you comment on the thing.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a
Taco,
look at the
why are you
killer?
so quiet?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something
Which
like
is you.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over.
I need to know what Celeste's account is, because I don't remember what it was. Night of the murder, right before nighttime, oh, right, she saw him. Stuffing some blue exercise. Okay.
All over. You want to know who saw
Why did you do that?
The killer. And only the killer. And it's not like they're just gonna turn themselves in. Game over, man.
Game over, man.
No! Not game over!
As a matter of fact, there is my witness. Okay.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to... Well, clues did nobody get a look...
I'm sure if someone saw the killer...
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some...
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over.
It's so low. You want to know who saw the killer. And it's not like they're just game over, man.
No! Not game
Oh, man.
Isn't there a...
I mean, it could be that one, too.
Did nobody get... I'm sure if someone saw the... Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point.
Alright, you know.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
Shoot!
I don't get why that was wrong.
Isn't there a single clue...
Oh, are you kidding me?
as to who did it?
Maybe you have some idea, but I don't understand at all.
Shoot!
Isn't there a single clue?
Do I have to do a flashback one?
I'm sure if someone saw the...
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some...
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new...
It's over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer.
It wouldn't... And only the kill...
killer. And it's not like they're just
It's
gonna
not-
come over, man.
He's very depressed.
Isn't there a
Single clue. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I get it. Alright. Yeah, it's definitely Hero's statement.
It's over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And
No. What's wrong? Celeste also did.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes.
Alright, I did. I'm for it.
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto.
Makoto.
The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly
God.
noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket in a duffel bag?
Yeah, that was nowhere to be found.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
Are we sure she isn't the robot? No!
And
I
that
wouldn't be too
is when he
surprised,
said
though.
Something that struck me as rather odd.
Better get going, I'm in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always...
Well, yeah, it's obvious why.
probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret.
Also
he was
because
hiding,
he's
right?
not allowed in freaking girls' room.
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that
Yeah,
he was
who does he
willing to
know?
risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship!
The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make
Do
the
I?
connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously? Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the
What?
details of these items, and it should become obvious who was
Track
waiting
jacket
for it.
and duffel
Are
bag.
you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on two pieces of evidence that we don't
Yeah, really.
have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or
Was
something?
somebody a track star?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket? The bag was just a normal duffel bag
Yeah,
from
just
the
normal.
warehouse.
Where did Mary go? Probably taking a wooze out. Most likely.
All the bags in there are the same, so
Believe me,
I
then
can't
left.
imagine
Yeah,
what would make
she
that
tends to
one
do that.
special.
Well, she tends to
Well,
just
if I
vanish.
remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket.
Kyoko, why are you so cryptic? Why do you know who it is every time and just don't tell? Like, this could be ended in a second and be like, he did it. Here's all the evidence. He did it. Does the track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow it's hard to believe. Yeah, I'm lost. Celeste's account.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific
Yeah, what?
tracksuit?
What are you going on about?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have
I believe
a
that.
tracksuit. Because exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit
No.
is?
No way. Not a chance.
None of that helped.
You heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it?
What he said just now is really odd. How did he know something like that? Wait, what?
First of all, we know that he was on his way, so next is why did he choose?
What do you mean, this?
I got it! It matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit? My tracksuit is...
I don't even because exercising.
I have a white tracksuit. I got it from the warehouse.
Did any of that really help us get any closer?
No way. Not a chance.
What,
You heard him,
Mondo?
right?
What he said just now is really odd. How did he know something like that?
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed.
Now,
He was on his...
I think this might be a flashback one. I think I'm supposed to take blue tracksuit and shoot it at something else. The thing is, that's an issue.
Way to go exit. So next is why did he choose?
What do you mean, this?
I got it! It matched the one...
So, what you're... The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
My tracksuit's black, white tracksuit.
Did any of that really help us?
No way. Not a chance.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He would...
Let me see her account to make sure. Was spotted leaving the warehouse. It seems she was stuffing some blue exercise clothes into a duffel bag. She was on her way to exercise, but the clothes were not found at the time stamp. Celeste had not told anyone other than Makoto about this. Right before nighttime, she was spotted. Blue exercise clothes. She was on her way to exercise. So, maybe...
On his way to go exercise.
So next is why did he choose this?
What do you mean, the specific track?
I got it! He picked that... It matched the one the culprit...
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
I don't...
My tracksuit is black.
Is it as simple as shooting that with blue tracksuit? Oh. Nope, it's not. What are you talking about? Shut up. That wasn't a good argument.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed.
He was on his way to... So next is why did he choose this?
What do you mean, the specific?
I got it! It matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying
I'm a little sad for you.
the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit?
No, that's wrong.
So what was the...
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just
We already
say?
knew it was a blue tracksuit.
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
So I'm stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. Oh, right. She didn't say
She
which
never said anything
color.
about the jacket's color.
The thing that threw me off was the thing in the in her account. It does mention the blue. Completely forgot she didn't mention it just here.
So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you...
Oh no, did Mondo do it?
Hey, Celeste. What color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was...
Dabba-dee, dabba-doo.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I just...
like you guess. Internet?
He saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No.
That can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by
Well,
the
how
time
could
we
they be
began our
disposed of? You
investigation.
can't get into the trash room.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before
Cherry?
he died. That's the only
We calling her Cherry?
possibility.
Him? Cherry?
Are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit?
How are you
or
doing that
didn't
with your
you?
tongue?
Just by chance. I just happened to see
Uh-huh.
it last night. He walked past
Oh
me,
no.
and he was carrying the tracksuit
Mondo.
in his hands.
No. That can't
There's
be
no
it.
way you did it.
According to Celeste's testimony,
You had a promise. You made a man's promise. Oh, Kuwabara. Stuffed the jacket in her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. It's gone.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
You ever see the movie Clue with Tim Curry? Yeah. It's been a long time, though. It was a good movie.
It would appear you've dug your
Mostly
own
because they
grave.
had Tim Curry in it.
Perhaps. But you handed
Watch
him
Knives
a
Out.
shovel, didn't you?
Really
That's
good
why you said
movie.
what you
Gotta
did.
look Knives Out.
Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
I did. You forced me to remember. I know. I know. Watch it again.
But why? What made
Yeah,
you so
really.
suspicious?
That's a good
The way he
question.
talked was the way he was acting, because I hate him. He seemed fine. The way he was acting? It's not.
There
Oh,
was a certain turning point that ticked me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick.
really like her. Kyoto.
And after he was killed, you happened to refer to
I
him
didn't
as
eat.
dude.
No, I didn't catch that.
Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You noticed such a tiny detail?
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're
It did happen last week, though. I don't know her name.
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I
Aww.
I didn't tell anyone.
The white hair one. I like her purple eyes.
You've been
I like
all
her
over me,
purple everything.
judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah, he would never do something like that. This is a
Oh
false
no, they just
accusation.
became bros. Oh no.
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty
Mondo
shaky.
made marvelous murder. Shut up. The alliteration.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has
Hifumi?
really come. That's what my little ghost friend
What?
is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of
I
evidence?
forgot he had a thing.
Actually, no. Now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Hifumi, it's probably... I found a strand of the killer's hair.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then,
Is that
here
the...
it is. What do you have there? It happens to be an
Yeah.
I found it laying on the ground, so
That's the
I
missing
scooped it up.
one. So... Alright. Hi Mary. Welcome back. How was the walk? Found it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to Mondo. Okay, then it's Chihiro.
Shoot.
God. It's mine.
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from
Right,
the scene
right.
of the crime, right?
It's been a week.
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
I'm also stupid
Well,
because
that's what I was
Mondo
hoping,
lost his.
but
Didn't think about that
busted.
long enough.
It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any
It's
evidence
okay, I have
after
no
the
clue what's
murder.
happening.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right.
They're not.
They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless
Zombies.
in the main hall.
Don't play zombies.
For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How, precisely, did the handbooks get broken?
There's only one possible explanation: by hacking it, hitting its weak point, exploiting a bug. Hacking it? No! It's impossible to modify it. I know, but that was the only one that makes sense! She's just that good. He's just that good. Exploiting a bug, hitting its weak point. Jesus.
You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
You remember
I got
that?
Damon. Demon.
Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession,
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So,
Well,
what is it?
I don't know. Yeah,
I
Ukulele
think it's a
2.
necessary piece of information if you want this to be
That one's
a
a
fair
platformer.
trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our
Yeah,
own
they're kind of important.
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow your
Promise?
example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break.
Oh no.
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor in the
Yeah,
sauna.
you sure did.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around
Oh, I
your
didn't know that.
skin.
Fun fact. Haven't even played the first one, me either.
If the
But now we
hot
can both
air
have
of the
both of them.
sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried.
I have to say, I really love the bu 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 in this song. It's so good.
That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Interesting.
Wow, that's really cool. Thank you.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway,
Alright,
if you
shut
found
up.
the
Shut up.
victim's handbook
Calm
in
down,
the
guys.
sauna,
Because he's too fat. Wow, fun facts.
then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out?
Yeah,
Monokuma said
how'd
he
they
didn't
find
tell
out
anyone,
indeed?
right?
indeed, quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke?
Right.
They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
Taka was naked.
I might know someone who did.
Yeah,
Whoa, seriously?
I was a witness.
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
I'm sorry. Who might have brought their handbook into the sauna? It had to be one who wore all their clothes in the sauna. It was... you. I'm gonna say one of the dead guys. This hurts.
Here's my answer. Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna,
Yeah.
didn't it?
I don't want to play zombie. They just updated and I don't want to start all over again at this moment. Wait, what? What do you mean? Maybe it's one of the dead guys. I can't wait for it to be one of the dead guys.
Why do you keep accusing
Like,
him?
Junko poisoned someone, but the poison took a while to take effect.
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago.
They're
remember?
bros.
And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school
Yeah.
uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform
Yeah.
pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily
Oh wow, this
destroy it.
thing's busted.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would
We're
never
bros. You wouldn't do that.
I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual
Taka, I'm sorry. I want to hug you. I don't want to believe it either. But I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. The broken handbook, Chihiro's, and the card reader.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own
Yeah.
handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Okay, so the broken handbook.
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all. Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly.
I'm sorry, Taka.
Let's test if what he says is you broke your own hand. In other words, if Mondo's handbook is...
What was the concentration thing? R1?
Actually, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
No, that's wrong.
I want to hear them all slow down now. They're bros.
Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed
You know.
to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking
I'm sorry,
about?
Taka.
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it
Yeah.
with his own.
That's, I mean, I kind of guessed that, but I guessed it with the wrong person.
After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right. The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to
Yeah, it
destroy
just got hit
it.
by a lot of baseballs.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually
Take out
Leon's.
your handbook,
Yes?
Leon. Mondo.
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook
We've been over
is
this.
prohibited?
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not
they
a
are, but-
student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things
It's a gray
more
area, but it's
interesting.
cool. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
As
I'm in
such,
charge.
I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Show us your handbook.
Son of a bitch. What's wrong, bro? Come on, tell him he's wrong. You are wrong. You have to be wrong. Everything you just said is wrong. You made it all up.
Nothing wrong with dealing with the dead.
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning? That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
You have 3 hearts, dude. Okay, comic time. Okay, so we got... Is that that's the locker room. The rope, the girls' room, letter, changing the posters, writing the name, the sauna. Oh, here. Right, I forgot that I could go either way. There we go. So this goes here. I love this one. Just bye. And then goes to the boys' locker room. Oop. And oh, you know what? No, it's not that. It'd be that, and then this. Probably. Hold on. Something everyone has that you need to get into the locker rooms. Okay, yeah. So you swipe the thing. Boop boop. The weapon the killer used was the barbell. Barbell. And then either blood on the poster, probably. I think this one's a fake. You seem like you're out of order. She would have swiped it way earlier. Yeah, no, this is backwards. It's presented in a manga format. You gotta remember, Japan. Oh, blood splattered onto something. So, that would be this. That would be this. That fell, it fell. I don't know how you moved that. That had to have been heavy, right? The carpet and, well, something else. Oh, the poster. Okay. And that's probably stringing her up. Oh no, that's which locker room? The girls' locker room. Boop, boop. We hate mangoes. The poster. Wait. Hold on. I have to swap these. There we go. Okay. Carried him over to the other one. The Yakuya being a creepazoid. Oop. Used to disguise what had happened. Wait, what? I think that's right. I'm not running out of time. Oh shoot, I'm running out of time. The killer went to the sauna after they were gone. What happened to it? It busted. Alright, I think I got all this right. I hope. I mean, that doesn't look like a breaking picture, but it has to be. Right? I think I got all this right. No, there are some fake pictures. This happened in the beginning one, so... Alright.
The killer is you! First, let's take a look back to before the incident.
There wouldn't be voice acting if I got it wrong, right?
Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag.
Sure was.
That something was a blue tracksuit.
That something was a
confirm this,
melted
right,
iPad. Wait. No. It's a good song.
With bag in hand,
Bop.
Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
What? Hold on. There's something in the barbell. A doorknob? So what was this one? Which locker room did... Gotcha. Okay. Alright, well, at least I didn't get...
The killer is
At least I didn't get damage. Time out!
With bag
Time
in
in.
hand, Chihiro headed out. She made her way to... But how could the victim... Simple. Because she was really a he, which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room. Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him.
Wait, did that damage me? Is it damaging me? It might be. The one the killer used was... I mean, it was a barbell. Wait, what did I put there? Did I put the bloody barbell? I think I put the bloody barbell. That might be why.
The killer is...
You keep saying that, Makoto.
Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him.
Cool. I'm going to die during the rhythm battle. It's good to know. Fantastic. I love it.
It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro, and attacked him.
Splat.
And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from.
Keep rooting the music.
It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned.
he just did it. So what was his secret?
Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet. Then, removing the bloody poster. And finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course, but this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl.
Probably self-defense. Chiro was probably in the attack mode. She was very vicious.
After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without
Such a far place to run, though. Like, nobody saw Mondo run down the hall and then back up the stairs. Unless he had it on hand, but I don't think he had it on hand, because it was unplanned.
With the carpet and the poster they brought with them,
Maybe there was
they
minimal
got to work.
planning.
They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch.
It sounded cooler in your head, I'm sure.
That could have been the end of things.
But no, Byakuya.
Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even
I like
more
how he was just a nuisance. He didn't do it, but he was annoying.
So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body.
Which made Mondo really confused.
Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter.
Wait, somebody... Did you not notice? Where have you been? Stop killing zombies. Have in the chat. Hello, Easel. How's it going? You ever played Danganronpa? It's been a trip. I'm going to die. I'm pretty sure I have 1 heart right now, and if there's a rhythm battle, yikes. Thanks for the follow. No, Byakuya's a dude.
The killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings,
Well,
arrived at the sauna.
probably.
There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook. And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic.
No, it said
gadget.
he as an emphasis. That's what 2 asterisks do. He got into the girl room because he borrowed one of the dead girl's books. You're not paying attention. Pay attention. Just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget.
Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna.
No, I did not. I did not, Mary. Wanna know why? Wanna know why? I have not had the time. It sucks. It'll be fun.
And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their
I like the
room.
layout and everything too much, too. I don't want to change.
And that's how it all played out.
Got it first try. Oh, Mondo.
Isn't that right, Mondo Orada?
Wait. No. This can't be right.
Man, why do I pick the wrong favorites?
Where's your evidence? Yeah. Where's your evidence?
I mean, they're all probably good to hide by the end anyway, but like...
You need proof. Without any proof, you can't put any of this
Watch
on
Celeste be next. Evidence that Mondo's the killer that already revealed itself earlier in the trial. If I can somehow show where Mondo's handbook is right now. Once I do that, everything will become clear. Oh no. Don't give me a new thing. If something happens to your account, then I'll tell you I told you so. That's fair. We're talking. They were bros. Let's talk about fever time and nega time? Let's not, and say we did. During a bullet time battle, if you press the R1 button, fever time will activate and the tempo will be forced to its max. At this point, even if I don't have enough hearts to deal with new mechanics, even if you push the buttons at random, you won't miss. So you can push X triangle, however you want to destroy the opponent's verbal assault. Also, I don't remember how to do this stuff. So only lasts until your focus gauge runs out, so make the best possible use of your time. Of course, it wouldn't be fair if only you got access to special time, right? So we've also prepared something called nega time that your opponent can use. If your opponent activates nega time during the bullet time battle, your tempo marker will disappear, making it a bit tougher to hit the buttons. If you were to activate fever time at this point, never mind, I'm sure nothing would happen. I don't know what I was worried about. If your action difficulty is set to general, opponent won't use nega time. Okay, good luck. I'm going to die. Hey, Light, you want to see me get a game over? I'm gonna get a game over. Crud. Can I, like, save? Hold up. Oh, it's Taco. Hold on. Wait, so it's, right, lock on, and then triangle. I probably won't do fever time, because I don't care.
You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. False. I refuse to vote. Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. Show me some evidence.
This should prove it.
Did I manage it? Did I actually? I don't know how I managed it, especially with the nega time. I was having a nega time. I mean, technically, a lot of people died. Oh my god. Try it, don't save, not yet, almost there. I'm picking on Mondo.
Mondo
They're
must
bros.
have a broken handbook with real ones. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now.
Light, this case has been pretty great.
We don't gotta do
Oh, Mondo.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I did it. I killed him.
Well. Yo, I got a perfect. Somehow. I got hurt so much.
Bro, what are you saying?
Doesn't mean he killed Leon.
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just give up. Go ahead,
Bro.
Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Don't congrats me on this. One of my favorite characters is gonna get killed. Sure!
Wait,
you did it!
Hold on!
No waiting, no holding on. Time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Grab your lever and give it a yank. Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna
Byakuya.
be?
It's still Byakuya. I hate him. Just kill the bear. Junko tried that.
What?
Uh-oh, this time it looks like you got it right again. Yes, it is so. The Blacken that killed Chihiro was... Mondo. In case you're wondering, the vote was not unanimous. Kiyotaka chose the wrong answer. You're treading very close to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimaru. You need to be more careful. I refuse to believe it. There's no way he would kill someone.
Sorry.
Why are you apologizing? Why? Why did you do it? He had a man's promise. It looks like Mondo's taken a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf. The story of the murder this time is the sad story of two men. But for anyone who doesn't really want to hear it, you can hit the circle button to fast forward the text. Thanks. I don't know what that means. Anyway, there was once a young boy, and his name was Chihiro. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak even though you're a boy. He'd hear things like that as long as he could remember, and he couldn't overcome his weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and buried himself further and further into that weakness. To take on the fragile form of a petite young girl. He had chosen that as his way out. Now nobody will be able to say anything about it, even though you're a boy. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself up in that shell, the complex had already taken root deep inside of him, and was not so easily weeded out. I was saying congrats to the A part. Ah, okay, well thanks. I still don't know if I can allow it. As it turned out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear, instead it only grew stronger and stronger. I'm weak.
Weak, 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 weak.
Uh-huh. Once the killing game had begun here at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, this world is survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. Then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets, which of course included Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more than willing to divulge. Even though he dresses like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy. And that was something Chihiro couldn't let anyone find out, no matter the cost. If that was revealed, it could be the end. The hardened shell would crack, the armor would fall away. Without a doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. Everyone figured being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling into despair. And yet...
I'm sorry. But...
He was gonna say it. Annoyingly, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
That's right.
Now's my chance.
I want to
I'm gonna get stronger and
change.
accept who I am. Strong enough so that when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay. I'll get better. With that thought at the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action. Seriously, don't get attached because it would break you. Your favorite persons will always die. I've learned that lesson. That's okay. I can't help it. Gotta have a favorite. Always gotta have a favorite. Stinks, but... Kuwabara! That day he made the commitment to begin exercising. He was prepared to retain his mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it. Yeah... When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be good to ask for someone's help. But he wanted to tell that person his secret first and then ask them to help him from there. The person he went to was... Mondo.
Yeah, that's right.
It sure was. A stink bug. Kill it. Kill it. The biker gang fella had been painfully clear about how important his manly promises were. So Chihiro probably figured that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep the secret. It's already stinky, just kill it. Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was the very simple of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will help give me some courage. So he went and asked Mondo to help him become strong. It was his aspiration. And he thought that only with Mondo's support would he ever be able to come close to that.
Correct.
So then that must be why Mondo did what he did to keep the promise he'd made. Did what he did? That's why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker room into the girls' locker room? Ah. That's exactly what I mean. Wasn't that to cover up what he'd done? Partially.
Certainly.
But I don't think it was the main reason. The real purpose was to keep the promise between men he made to Chihiro. How does moving the body keep a secret? Because if everyone knew he'd been killed in the boys' locker room, then everyone would have been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us would immediately begun to suspect his identity, so he tried to protect the secret by putting him in the girls' locker room and stealing his handbook. Then Mondo did all that to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro, who he'd also killed. Mondo, why would he do that? Stop yelling. The more I hear you talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trusted each other, right? So why did you... No matter what, I didn't want anyone to know. That's what triggered it after all. Possibility of having your secrets exposed.
What is this?
Nothing could have been that bad. Something he didn't want anyone to know, even if it meant killing someone. Impossible.
Don't make me repeat
Shut up.
myself.
To judge others by your own standards is the height of folly. Even if you can't comprehend it, he obviously can. That's all there is to it. While we're on the subject, why don't I tell you? That embarrassing memory, that secret he didn't want anyone to know. You know what Mondo did? He killed his own brother. Oh no, Mondo.
You what?
Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader, makes all the hoodlums and riffraff across the country tremble. But the only reason he had the chance to join a gang in the first place was because of a certain someone. His bro. Mondo's older brother name was Daya Owada. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because of Daya that Mondo ever got on a motorcycle. He doesn't know how to ride it. Mondo's brother was his only family growing up. He was the only one Mondo could trust or respect. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he imitated him in everything he did. Mondo was the epitome of the starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang. Before anyone knew it, it had grown to the biggest biker gang in the country. Daya, number one in the gang, and his number two, his younger brother Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy. Gross. But when Mondo started to think about how he would have to take over the gang from his brother someday, his brother's greatness, reputation, began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul. The kid's gonna take over for Daya, huh? Daya created this gang with his bare hands. Mondo's just along for the ride. Can someone like that really be our leader? All that'll do is make the gang look bad. Toast with peach jam? See, that sounds good. Almost every day, Mondo heard the gossip and whispers of the other members of the gang, which is why...
I just...
Gotta get stronger than Daya. Once, just one time. No matter what, I gotta win. I don't care what it takes, I gotta come out on top. On the night of his amazing brother's retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to a street race. During the race, tragedy struck. The kid brother pushed ahead with reckless abandon, eager for victory, and dashed into oncoming traffic. Laying in his kid brother's arms, the older brother delivered his final words. My bad, kid. I screwed up. Sorry. Of course he knew it was his brother's fault, but Daya never blamed him for what happened. Hey kid, the rest is up to you. No matter what, you gotta keep the gang together. 'Cause it's the team you and me put together. It's a promise between men. He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang, in order to keep the gang together and keep the promise to his brother. He could never admit to anyone that it was his own weakness that had caused the accident. As a result, team was made even stronger under the banner of the kid who had bested his big brother. Dad was going to lose to his kid brother, so he got stupid and got himself killed. That became the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became truth. Yeesh. He wanted to lead the team so bad he was willing to tell all kinds of lies about his brother. I'm strong. Very strong. Man, him repeating strong and Chihiro repeating weak, it's like... As soon as our killing game began, he realized no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. Then the lovely, the hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. At that point, it was clear I would have no problem shedding light on his secret. Mono killed his own older brother. I want to know the other secrets. I hope they show up. I couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I'd been carrying around, it all would have been for nothing. That's why... After I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled up with a kind of fuzzy uneasiness and just started swirling around. Never felt anything like it before. I didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while that fuzzy uneasiness turned itself into a rock-hard lump of anxiety weighed down in my stomach. And it was right around then that Chihiro asked me to start working out with him. Impulse decision. Right there, he told me in secret. What, really? I'm sorry I lied to you. But why? Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden?
Huh?
Because, I mean, you've kept that secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would.
But... I want to change.
I wrap myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. His words were like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing the lie I'd been living myself. I have to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong, it can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us. So what, you're saying I should just say it?
Why?
Saying if I really am, I should just be able to tell everyone my secret.
Huh?
I was jealous. Jealous of Chihiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness to try and overcome it. It's the kind of strength I've never had. So I was jealous of him. And that jealousy broke me. You making fun of me? I'm strong. I'm strong? Are you screwing with me right now? I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong, Mondo. Felt like I could hear something starting to creak. Something inside my head. What did he want me to do? What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just sit back, let my secret get revealed, and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
You're scaring me.
Damn you!
Don't you have to tell me all that? Are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
I just
really admire you. Admire your strength. Stop saying that.
Right.
Very strong. Stronger than you.
You son of a
Stronger
bitch.
than Daya. I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up again, he was lying at my feet covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand, and I was just staring at him down on the ground.
I killed him. I killed Chihiro.
Yeah.
Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
He was normally so aggressive, so angry. He hid that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. A weakness like that lived in a heart like his, and it turned him cold-blooded. I'm curious how the execution's gonna look. Can't believe this. Look at him, you see? You're all just like him. For a secret from the past, for a memory. For that, he killed another living human in cold blood. He couldn't cut free of his regrets from the outside world. He doesn't know what true strength is. Do you see hope anywhere in there? Because I sure don't. Oh, just shut up. Go ahead, say that again. I dare you.
Yep.
Okay, I'll say it as many times as I want. Is what I want to say, but unfortunately I can't do that right now because the time for punishing is fast approaching. You mean execution? That's what I promised you, right? The blacker that disturbs peace will be punished.
Ridiculous.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
For Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader. Is it gonna have something to do with a motorcycle?
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I said wait.
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
Bye, Mondo. Bye, Mondo. So is it... Oh no, he didn't get dragged like Leon. He sure is on a bike. The pump. Oh, it's one of those. What? The Cage of Death. My favorite time of day. Is it? Oh my god. Mondo, you good? Did... What? Mondo Butter? Wait. I'm confused. What? I thought he just got evaporated. I don't know where the butter came from. Very confused about that. Laugh at death and your soul will forever be at peace. Can't be. My brother. Another murder and another execution. I want to feel again. Everyone's lives are taken so lightly here. I feel like I might be going mad. Maybe I'll just let it happen? He disintegrated and was made into butter. Yes. I can't believe it's not Mondo. Shut up. Why was he butter? As Taka's sad screams invaded our skulls, we were each forced to realize once again, but he, of course, he had to. What a disappointment. This is the end of the game. You're completely insane, you know that? A game, one of our friends is dead. Do you realize that? You already made it clear that none of them is friends. Of course I do, because this game is life or death. I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have a response except that I just don't understand why. Why did you go out of your way to disguise Mondo's crime?
What?
Why? Isn't it obvious? Because it made things more interesting. His voice was calm, emotionless, like the voice of death. It chilled me to the bone. Last night when the murder took place, I was in the library as usual. So you ignored the nighttime rule too. Of course he did. That rule never mattered to me. I don't recall agreeing to it. I don't particularly care. Please continue. The night grew late, and I decided to return to my room, which is when I stumbled upon him. I spotted Mondo coming out of the girl's locker room. After he'd gone, I looked inside and saw the corpse. Didn't you actually witness the murder? He was such a fool. He didn't have the slightest idea that I'd seen him. He's saying you knew who the culprit was from the very beginning. Yeah, but if that had been the end of it, how boring would that have been? What a waste of time to have the answer revealed right at the beginning. Which is why I decided to lend a little helping hand. I thought it would liven things up. Did all that to liven things up? After hearing about Jack from Toko, you decided to use that to create the fake murder scene. But man, if we hadn't figured out who'd really done it, you would have been dead too, right? Obviously, I would have revealed the truth before it reached that point. Of course, Yakuya turned and looked me in the eye, to feel his sharp eyes piercing into me. Thanks to a certain remarkable someone, it never did, and I was able to perform an interesting experiment. Once I do decide to become blackened, I now know who I'll have to watch out for. So that was your reason. You satisfied?
Indeed.
How did I win the rhythm battle, the bullet time battle? How did I do that? Very confused. We're done listening to your story. Moving on.
Hey.
There's something I'd like to ask Monokuma.
What's this?
You like to perform these elaborate executions each time, correct? My question is why? Why butter? Do you like them? But you know, this punishment, this despair, it's not just for you. All this punishment, all this despair is my gift to mankind itself. You're over-exaggerating. I am not. These punishments are meant to transform all hope to despair. What do you mean? Mean. Good grief. I don't understand why you have to pick apart every little stupid thing. Whatever, it doesn't matter. In the end, I'm gonna stand alone as a victor, and then everything will be revealed to me. The noble son of a noble family. Truly, you understand me. I think this is the art of a terrifying friendship. Shut up, I would never stoop to the level of a childish criminal like you. Let me just say this. After I have achieved complete victory, you're up next. I'm gonna find you and kill you, understand?
In the name of
In the name of the Togami family, for which victory is a foregone conclusion. Oh, so cool. It's like you're the main character of a video game or something. No trash mob for you. I swear, whatever it takes, I will kill you. Temper. Sounds like someone needs a nap. Man, their banter's great. Monokuma's laughter peeled across the courtroom, and the curtain closed on the case of Chihiro and Mondo. I knew that wasn't the end. The killing game would still continue, because the mastermind wouldn't let it end. For those of us who were still alive, our worst fear and despair kept on multiplying. It was a kind of despair that felt like a blind puppy in heck had more of a future than us. All of our courage, our effort, our friendship, it felt like it amounted to nothing at all. It was the worst kind of despair. What?
Well, anyway, like
Who that? Who the bald guy?
this is a pretty good spot. Yeah, a really good spot. Anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone before things even had a chance to get boring? Once things really get moving, it'll be like a roller coaster. There won't be any stopping it. Fear and despair charged forward at a speed nothing can hope to match. But I must admit, I'm disappointed. I went to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group, and you couldn't play your part.
What?
You do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right? Well, no biggie. Nothing we can do about it now. So just do your best to make things more exciting from now on, okay? After all, that's what everyone wants to see.
There's one thing I'd like to ask you.
As long as you don't want to know my measurements, fire
Everybody
away.
else has their measurements. Who is it? The 16th high school student, I mean.
My, you really took me by surprise there. I know I said you could ask anything,
But not that.
but super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied. Because you see, that's my ace in the hole. And nobody'd be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close they were to their...
I'm so confused. Who is that? Alright. I don't follow. The end. And now we're down to 10. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Crazy Diamond! Cool. I'm not proud of this. Two of a kind. Alright. We're gonna keep going for a little bit.
I know I shouldn't cry. But I've had
That's fair,
enough.
Hina.
I can't take it anymore. Getting out of here anytime soon. It's
Oh, she's so
impossible.
sad.
I can't let myself think about how much I want to get out of here. If I keep thinking like that, I might decide to.
Uh-oh. Donuts? I need to eat some donuts. That'll cheer me up. Me too, dude. Oh, it's Hina's room. Glazed donuts, twisty donuts, jelly donuts, cream-filled donut holes, malasadas? Never had malasada. I think I know what that is. Please be Saturn.
Okay.
God, oh god of donuts. I'm praying for a wonderful encounter. I'm sorry. Please forgive me for breaking the nighttime rule, but right now, for me, donuts are absolutely necessary. Hina, don't get yourself killed. What's that sound? You bought donuts today? What kind? Sounds like it's coming from the bathhouse. I'm super scared, but... Someone there? Wait. What? A next generation legend, Santal Galactic Hero. What's happening? The morning after the conclusion of the second class trial, everyone met up in the dining hall just like always. I expected it to start like any other day, that's what I expected, but today's count kind of sucks, huh? Toko and Byakuya still refused to show up. I haven't seen Hina anywhere. She said her stomach was hurting, so she's taking it easy in her room for today. That's unusual. Normally she's so full of energy, which is exactly what makes me worry. Just the seven of us then. Looks that way.
How about that?
It's times like this where the committee chairman needs to get things going with a bang. Poor Taka's broken. What kind of donuts were they, Barry? Onward to chapter 3.
Impossible.
Or not. Taka hasn't said a word since everything that happened yesterday. One look at his face showed he hadn't slept a wink last night. Must be because of Mondo. The two of them became so close, and then he finds out Mondo killed Chihiro. And then having to watch Mondo get punished, and nothing he can do about it. I can't even imagine what it must have done to him. So, I mean, what's gonna happen now? We haven't found any way out, and we have no idea if help's ever gonna come. Now I'm all depressed just thinking about it. We simply have to make the best of things. Do our best to get along and live here together in peace. Forget about the outside world and accept this new life. It's the only hope we have now. To live here forever? Here we have every convenience. We have food, clothes, our every need is seen to. Why are you dissatisfied? In fact, let me ask you this. What is it about the outside world that you long for? Competition, discrimination, victimization, and violence. As society grows, so does its perversion. In which case, it's our current situation not... Demon Angel, Pretty Pudgy Princess? With a star. Krispy Kreme? Ooh, Krispy Kreme is so good. I haven't had Krispy Kreme in forever. They're so rare around here.
Huh?
Here we go.
Meggy, the drill shop owner, the bunny-eared Amazon, cat girl dog boy. I'm sorry, cat girl dog boy? Robo Justice, the Galactic King. I know where one is, but the closest one is about 40 minutes away. 40 to 50? I know where one is. What I mean is there's no 2D here.
There is nothing
Mastermind
to be
puts such base desire to their advantage, bending you to their will.
You know?
Okay, well anyway, since Taka's like catatonic, he is. As the oldest one here, I'm officially stepping up to take the lead. So we're all going to work together and spend the rest of the day searching the school. I mean, since the class trial is over and all, there should be new places for us to investigate. I have to take it. Maybe we'll find some kind of clue this time. Once we're done eating, let's split up and begin looking around. Do you have any problem with that, Celeste? There may well be a discovery waiting for us, which may further enrich our life here. Worth it for a donut. It is, but I had to look it up, and I'm like, it's in a terrible neighborhood. That's why I've never had it. It is. It is a pretty bad neighborhood. But it's still worth it. Just gotta make a day of it. The point is to look for clues. And just as we were starting to come together, she barged in and ruined the conversation.
You called for me, so I appeared.
Oh, I thought, okay. It's so weird. You said half of the entire line. Why did you just not continue? Nobody called for you. How come it's Genocide Jill and not Toko? God, this place is amazing. Finally, a place I can just be my murder self. Which is why I've decided to stop holding back and spread my wings. No more hiding in a cave for me. Plus, I have another battle to fight. The whole killer with a split personality thing is so overdone. I gotta destroy that stereotype. I'll fight all day and all night to murder those totally slanderous cliches. But you are a killer with a split personality. If she wasn't here, my chances of survival would go up at least 10%. You gotta back me up here. Even the biggest stars need the little people to hold them up. She had a good time. Well, whatever else we do today, first we should eat. We can't do anything on an empty stomach. Right, let's hurry up and eat so we can start our investigation. Nobody said anything funny. Go away. So we were forced to eat breakfast with a murderer, and after a much needed but very annoying meal, we set to work looking around the school. Alright. So, let's see what new stuff opened up. Is anyone... I kind of want to check on Hina, actually. Kyoko... Taka... Mondo... Must be locked? That's not what I expected. Yakuya... Junko... Toko... Oh, there's more to that. Okay. Chihiro... Weird. I just wanna see if she's alright. Map. Alright, he's there. Oh, that's right. That's not a stairway. I thought there was another stairway for some reason. So where's you? Oh, there it is. Alright, well, let me talk to you first.
Could it be...
Nothing changed on this floor. The only difference is the gate blocking the stairs leading up to the third floor is gone. Guess that's where they want us to head next. I wonder what kind of crazy stuff is there. You're lost. Get out of here. Purple. Third floor. I wonder what we're gonna find this time. Well, let's just... Okay, that's downstairs. Wait, isn't there a... Hold on. There it is. Triangle. Okay. 3A. Despair Squadron. Okay. The windows up here are also barred with metal plates. Not surprising, I suppose. So escape still looks impossible. I better check all the other metal plates again just to be sure. There's nothing to really... Okay, what about 3B? Getting tired of this. It said something under the... Huh. Weird. I kind of want to go back in there and see it. Pick my nose. I think that's what it said. Wish Discord would shut up. Record? Oh, I see. Recreation room, gotcha. A place for students to come and relax. I never would have imagined a school having a place like this. No normal school would. It has Othello, shogi, even a dartboard and a pool table. And look at this. They've even provided us with a remarkable number of magazines. Those will certainly be helpful in keeping our boredom at bay.
Listen up!
Hello there, allow me to expound. I don't know what that means. We've got fashion, motorcycles, martial arts, video games, baseball, science, all kinds of magazines. But nothing dirty. This is a school after all. If you need a quick fix, check out the swimsuit racks. Will you be adding to your collection as new issues come out? No can do. Even if I wanted to, right now magazines are kinda... Nothing. Never mind. Anyway, that's it for my explanation. What? What he just said, I know, right? It bothers me too. Life here would be that much nicer if he could add some new issues once in a while. How disappointing. What about if we'll get to the roof at some point? Alright. Beat up old locker. Doesn't seem important right now, so I won't open it. Some kind of bottle, but what the heck is it? Maybe just for decoration or something? Okay, so... the next murder is gonna be in here. Noted. Firm-looking leather couch. Looks pretty comfortable. What if these were all minigames? There's a copy of Othello here. I'm pretty bad at it, though. I've never played Othello. I had a friend in high school that was very into Othello, but I never did. Table here. It's kind of similar to the desks in the classroom, but also kind of not. Very astute observation. Good job, dude. All different kinds of magazines here on the shelf. They even have a bunch of monthly comics. But without getting regular updates, what's the point? Even a dartboard. Did Monokuma put this here, or was it always part of the school? Pool table isn't normal school equipment. Is this thanks to Monokuma, or did the school buy it? Assuming I make it out of here alive, I'll never look at cameras the same way again. I should just try and forget about it.
There is nothing
It's unfortunate about the magazines, but still, I do believe our lives will improve thanks to this little hideaway. It's not really a hideaway, though. Okay, what's in here? I gotta remember that doors are important. Okay, not always, apparently. Cool. I see Kyoko. The third floor opened up this time. After a brief investigation, it looks like there's a physics lab and an art room. Oh no, physics. I also found a huge machine of some kind in the physics lab. I wonder what it does. Huge machine. Okay, so... art room's over here. Let's look at art. You can't show those. Of course Ifumi's in here. This looks like any normal art room, but something about it seems off for multiple things. Let's talk to Hifumi. Look at all this equipment. Certainly scratches that artistic itch of mine. Art supplies, of course, but they've also collected all kinds of sculpting tools. Do you like sculptures and figurines and stuff?
Yes,
Normally I limit myself to 2D, but figurines are like borderline 2D, so it's okay. No? Borderline? I'm a fan of Chirambo, Pumpkinhead, and I especially admire anything that Saburo Ronpungi makes. Are these real people? Ability to express the movement and muscles is exquisite as seen in his Model Cat series. Pumpkinhead is like a little sculpture fairy representing this century's greatest quality. Saburo, meanwhile, is known for his Mecha Musume series, which led to a worldwide tour. Truly, they can only be regarded as the Elite Four. One of your elites is missing. Well, the Elite Three just sounds stupid, now doesn't it? Yes. Besides, that empty seat rightly belongs to me. Today begins my reign as the legendary ruler of the next century. Okay, good luck. That's fine. Nice talk, Afumi. A statue of Neo. I've never really heard anyone using a Neo statue for life drawing classes or whatever. Okay, I can't check that. It's a locker, but it doesn't seem like anything's inside. There are paintings on the wall. Is this really art? Just looks like a bunch of bad graffiti to me. One of them kind of looks like Toko. A Venus statue. Yep, definitely very art roomish. Monokuma. Is this a statue of Monokuma? Who would ever want to make something like this? Quality is surprising. Actually, this is pretty good. All right, what's in here? What's that on the ground? This is a repository that attached to the art room. It used to store different artsy things. Alright, let's look at this. A dolly. They must use it to move all these statues around. There are wooden mallets hanging on the wall. If I had to guess, I'd say they use them for making sculptures. Is that Leon? And there's something on the floor. It looks like a picture, but as I stretched out my hand to pick it up, almost as if it on its own, my hand froze. Mondo, Leon, and Chihiro. What I saw in the picture was all of them, and they were smiling. What is this? Transferring to bed. Lame. Questions started racing through my head one after the other. Why is it only these three? What are they doing together? How come they're smiling like that? They didn't know each other beforehand, did they? When was it taken? Who took it? Where's the camera they used? How'd they get it developed? And in the picture, the window in the classroom. There's no metal plate covering it. Yeah. What? Which must mean wherever this picture was taken, it wasn't here at Hope's Peak. But there was no time to find an answer. All the questions floating around my head were quickly drowned out by... You. That's mine. Give it back. Monokuma appeared out of nowhere and snatched the photo, and any chance I had at answers evaporated. You peeked, didn't you? Well, they all had some pretty dazzling smiles, huh? They were definitely living their school life. It's like they ripped a page right out of the Book of Youth. Alright, guy. What's going on with that picture? Do you know? I'm not telling you nothing. Why can't you give me a straight answer? Never mind, I don't even know why I bothered. I wish to know more. What the heck? That raises so many questions. Makoto just asked all of them, but like... What the heck? Run through the halls. Oh, here's 4th floor. There's still at least one more floor. Alright, let's go to physics. Physics. Why is the door so weird? Is it because physics are weird? Oh my god. Hi, Taka. So it's like a classroom, more like some kind of research institute. That door's open. Let's start over here. This case. Must use these for experiments and stuff. There's materials, pulleys, steel plates, magnets, and all kinds of stuff I don't even recognize. What's up with this ridiculously big machine? Hi, Monica.
Watch out!
What, you want to do some quantum leaping? Yes. It sounds like fun. It's a time machine. Pretty awesome, right? It was designed by a student right here at Hope's Peak. The ultimate physicist, although they don't go here anymore. They died during the tragedy. Time machine? Seriously? So I could go back in time? Okay, let me get in there. If I can go back to the past, then I can... This time I'll stop Mondo for sure. Sorry, not possible. This particular time machine can only go back 1 minute. Comes in handy when you, like, leaving your pizza bagels in the microwave 1 minute too long. You sound disappointed. Voila. But actually, I was lying about the whole thing anyway. There's no such thing as time machines, you idiot. Honestly, it's just an air purifier. It can produce clean air no matter where you're at. That thing, you could even live on Mars. But with the discombobulating gravity and deadly low temperatures, you probably don't want to live on Mars. Anyway, this machine is the reason you guys have all this delicious air. So don't go messing with it. You break in, it's your butt. This huge thing is just an air purifier. More than that. To go out of your way to say something you know will hurt someone who's already suffering. Oh cool, I'm glad I got a medal for breaking Taka even more. Oh wait, what's this? A camera? I'll look at that in a second. This machine obviously has some kind of purpose, but I don't know anything about physics to begin with, so I wouldn't have a clue where to start with. Hey Taka, don't you think this place is like some kind of institute? Still no reaction. Alright, let's check out this camera that's hidden off screen. A digital camera, it's got some kind of weird anime style design on it. It's kind of beat up, but it looks like it still turns on just fine. I should show the others later. Why do I just... Alright. What's back here? This is the equipment room. Super disorganized, and there's a strange chemical smell in there. This place is so relaxing, so calming. The smell of formaldehyde is almost unbearable. I'm so tempted. I want to just soak myself right in it. Of course Jack likes it. That just goes to show how disgusting it really is. I discovered lots of stuff and it was all strange, but I don't know if any of it was an actual clue. I'm just getting more confused. Maybe I should head to the dining hall and talk about it with everyone else. I should head to the dining hall. I wasn't done, Makoto! 2 seconds! Stop acting on your own. When I got back to the dining hall, the first thing I noticed was Hina. I tried to talk to her, but my voice was immediately drowned out by the others as they rushed in.
Hina.
I thought she was sick or something. Everyone was rushed past me and crowded around Hina. Being surrounded, Hina looked really uncomfortable. Feeling better? I ate a few donuts and that really helped a lot. You do love those donuts. Wasn't it your stomach that was hurting? My stomach ache kind of made me hungry, so you know. I guess my memory's kind of fuzzy lately. They say that a goldfish will eat however much food you give it, even if it's about to burst. Everybody's so mean to Hina. Miss Hina's pretty much the same, it looks like. You of all people don't have any room to talk. Anyway, I was worried about you.
Sorry.
Your knockers are huge. What the heck? Did you convince them to double up on milk production? Stay away from her, fiend. Anyway, first things first, we should talk about what we found, right, Taka? Right, anyways. There's no point in talking to Taka. It's no use. Just remembered I saw Byakuya a little while ago. Where was he? Kind of scaring me. Where was he? He was in the locker room. He had a huge stack of books he must have got from the library. That's where he was hiding. I won't let him get away from me. She just ran off. Is she okay? We should not concern ourselves with her. If either one of them die, then good.
Correct.
There was a rather remarkable physics lab on the 3rd floor. In the middle of the room, there was a machine bigger than anything I've ever seen before. Apparently, it's an air purifier. What's something like that doing there? Is the device really that big? I really don't get it. Something I really never thought about. These windows aren't barred. Not sure what that's all about. Sakura. You think Celeste is next? Me too, just because... Always my favorites. I searched the entire 3rd floor, but all the windows in the halls and the rooms were blocked off. Should I give this a rest? Give me back my bright blue skies. To die. Just forget about it. You make it sound like I dropped a nickel or something. Just be sure I went from one end to the other, testing each metal plate. None of them budged. So it seems escape via the 3rd floor is as impossible as we feared. But who would kill Celeste? Out of our lovely group. Maybe Hifumi, because he's obsessed. There was our room, and it had all kinds of gear. Now I'll be able to recreate all my favorite anime characters. Yeah, speaking of anime, that reminds me. You ever watch One Piece? I found something while I was looking around.
Perhaps.
Camera? That's what it seems like. Still working? Yeah, it seems fine. Let's see it.
What the
This thing's like a kid's toy. Looks like it can store like 5 pictures. It doesn't have a timer or anything.
Well...
On top of that, its appearance seems questionable. Is this some kind of anime character? Strange. She's not strange. She's Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess. The windows may not be barred, but I'm sure they're super thick, unbreakable. Yeah, probably, but they never tried to do anything with them, I think. Do you recognize this? Of course I recognize it. It's a super rare prize that was given away at a bingo contest at a big anime convention. Do you have any idea how much I had to pay that guy to get my hands on it? Wait, that's mine. Where'd you find it? In a physics lab. It's my most prized possession. I brought it here with me, but I lost it the first day along with my phone. Why would it have reappeared in the physics lab?
However,
Look at it. It got all messed up. Like when someone steals a sticker from your collection or you buy a second-handed shirt. Oh, I see. It's not mint condition. I don't need it anymore. Were you just saying how much it meant to you? May I have it? I might be able to find some sort of use for it. If any of you would like to borrow it, please feel free to ask. I can't really imagine any of us are gonna need to take any pictures or whatever. You really? You don't? Oh, there's Celeste. I was wondering where you were hiding. There is One Piece. Oh no, it's lagging. I can't do the thing. There just so happens to be a rec room. I have no doubt that our student life here will be even more enjoyable. Will someone join me in a game of Othello sometime? Nerd. I wasn't able to help much with the investigation, but I did make one discovery. Didn't happen to be donut related, did it? What's that mean? It's about the nurse's office. There's one on the 1st floor, right?
Well,
Remember, but it's locked. Not anymore. You find any protein in there, or even vitamin supplements would be fine? I did look, but no dice. Just a bunch of headache medicine, over-the-counter stuff. It's disappointing. It is. Like the end of the world is already here. Not sure it's that disappointing. Now it's my turn. Can I tell you guys something? I found something that's kind of been bothering me. What is it?
What?
I found this weird picture in the repository. Apparently Monokuma took it. A weird picture? You mean like dirty? No, not that. It was Leon, Mondo, and Chihiro all together. Those three. And 3 of them were laughing. It showed the 3 of them together laughing. When could it have been taken? There's more. There weren't any metal sheets covering the windows.
well,
The picture wasn't taken here. I don't recall hearing anything about them knowing each other before coming to the school. You probably just imagined it. Monokuma cast a spell on you. I saw it, I'm telling you. If it wasn't taken before we got here, or after we got here,
How about that?
I bet they're all still alive. They left the school and then took that picture. That's kinda impossible. one got pummeled to death with baseballs. One was a corpse literally in front of them. And one got turned into butter. They're all dead. Either murdered or executed. And they're not the only ones. Monokuma killed Junko, and there's Sayaka. That was not an illusion. It was real, I'm sure of it. They all died. There's no way any of them are still alive. So we have to figure out when that picture was taken. They most likely forged it. I can't imagine any other possibility. Is that all there is to it? Photoshop? Don't let Monokuma stuff sidetrack you. He's right, but more importantly, another topic, there is something that has been bothering me. I would like to discuss that. Yeah? What is it? Sabakina. Nani? You said your stomach hurt, did you not? But I believe that was a lie. What really happened? Varies from person to person, but whenever someone lies, they tend to have a way of showing it. It's called a tell. Something that you can't hide no matter how hard you try. Yeet. Whatever Hina lies, the tip of her nose gets just a little bit longer. Celeste. Really? No. But your reaction just now confirmed it. You were lying. That's not fair. If you're gonna lie, at least try to lie convincingly. Be honest, were you lying about your stomachache? Yeah. Why'd you lie about that? You feeling guilty?
Sure of it.
Not it at all. I mean, I have a reason for it. Hina? What was the ghost? I didn't. I did it because even if I came and told you the truth, I thought you wouldn't believe me. I saw it. A ghost. You mean like that ghost? Hey. Is there more than one ghost? I mean, ghosts are... I told you you wouldn't believe me. It's not that I don't believe you, but... I believe you. No matter what anyone else might say, I will believe whatever you say no matter what. Can you tell us exactly what happened? If you really mean that, then okay, I'll tell you. It happened last night. I was in bed, but I couldn't get to sleep. I just kept thinking about everything that's happened up till now. I ended up just getting more upset. So, to try and cheer myself up, I thought I'd go get some donuts.
Huh? Honestly.
You ignore the rules regarding nighttime. I know, sorry, I feel really bad about that. Anyway, please continue.
But...
What is that thing next to her bed? The paperclip thing. So I left my room and headed for the warehouse. Then I started hearing a strange sound. It was coming from the direction of the bathhouse, so I headed that way. The locker was halfway open, so I took a look. And I saw a human shape, surrounded by a pale green light. There's no doubt who it was. It was Chihiro.
Say what?
Yeah. Ghost? It's simply not possible. You must be mistaken. Just as in most cases of paranormal activity, it was born from your weakened mental state. All we have to do is go see for ourselves, right? Let's just go to the bathhouse and see what Hina saw. You couldn't see it. What do you mean? It is a waste of time. Maybe, but there's no harm in it, right? If we don't find anything, that'll be the end of it. You're gonna go and try to see a ghost? Is that really a good idea? It might put a curse on you. You can wait here if you want. I don't want to be alone. Take me with you. What are you gonna do, Celeste? I guess I have no choice. How about you? You gonna wait here? I guess that's a yes. Poor Taka. It was right here. I saw it right here in the dressing room. Goosebumps.
Come on.
Cthulhu what? I've never seen that part. What was that last part? I don't even know how to pronounce that. The stream is too small on my phone. I don't believe you. What if he actually showed up?
Hina.
Where was it you saw Chihiro's ghost? I heard a sound when I opened the locker. Saw a kind of pale outline. Okay. Creating this fancy template thing made the stream so much smaller so I can't see a lot when I'm on my phone. It looks fine. It looks really good. Why are you like this? I don't really want to get rid of it. I think it looks great. Why do you have to make me feel bad? I saw a outline of Chihiro in the locker. Yeah, what are you saying? Ancient chant. Put simply, it's a kind of incantation. And that's why I said shut up. Let's hurry and check the locker. Sooner we do that, sooner we put this story to rest. Sechi opened the locker, we better check that out. If Hina saw something as she claims, there might be something here in the locker. Is this the locker? There was something in here. Laptop. Is that the laptop from the library? I remember seeing this. Yeah, that's the library one. It's pretty old and it's all covered in dust.
So...
And it was broken. How did it get here? Guess it's in sleep mode, but the power's definitely on. I thought it was broken. I would bet that Chihiro fixed it. After all, he was known as the ultimate programmer.
Then perhaps...
You said you saw a green light. Surely you did not mistake the light in the monitor for a ghost. I'm surprised you're able to dress yourself in the morning. Oh. Looks fine on a computer monitor or TV, not on phone though. At least mine, some people have big phones. You just gotta turn it sideways. Did it close itself? Kind of. Yeah. You just gotta close it. Just sideways. Thank you. Thank you. If I had the loves clueless girls attribute, I would have fallen in love big time just now. I'm so glad I don't have it. I didn't really expect to find a freaking laptop inside a freaking locker, okay? I mean, anyone can make a mistake like that. As a matter of fact, one time I thought I'd spotted a gray alien, but it turned out to be a tadpole. Don't compare what happened to me to one of your stupid delusions.
Don't be mean!
Don't be mean. I was just trying to make you feel better. What if I get all depressed forever now? Don't like typing with the long keyboard? Yeah, it is annoying. That's fair. Isn't this really strange? What's this laptop doing in here? Someone hid it here. If that's the case, we found it pretty easy. Whoever put it here, I don't think they were trying to hide it from us. Haven't you noticed there's one big difference between this room and the others? There's no camera.
Yes, it's me.
Yes, it's me. There's no camera in here, which means this is the one spot where the mastermind's blind. Someone put the laptop here so the mastermind wouldn't know about it. What Hina saw wasn't the ordinary glow of a computer screen. It was the figure of Chihiro shining pale green. I think it would be best if we investigated this laptop. Maybe you guys could do it a little, like, more, I don't know, subtle? The display isn't on, but the laptop definitely has power. First we have to wake it up. Wake up! I started hitting random buttons on the keyboard. And then something said, delete system 32. The display instantly began to glow pale green. There were a bunch of different icons on the desktop.
Hey.
It says alter ego? Another self, I believe. In the field of artificial intelligence, it is not uncommon to create different aspects of personality. You can consider it something like a pen name.
Makoto.
Did you let me see it? With that, Kyoko moved between me and the computer. She moved the cursor over the icon, and when she double-clicked it, the screen suddenly went dark. And then a voice spoke to us.
You really came!
Master, you're here? Chihiro's face appeared, taking up the entire display.
Oh, no!
It's a ghost. Buddha and sweet baby Jesus, save me. Not a ghost. What is it? I'm sure if we just talk to it, we'll find out. Kyoko began to type, hands blurring across the keyboard. What are you?
Hello, nice to meet you.
I thought it... I always get so embarrassed introducing myself. That voice, the tone, and everything. It's Chihiro.
I knew
Alter
it.
Ego. I've heard about this kind of AI program, but I've never seen one for myself. It's how Chihiro earned his title of Ultimate Programmer. The AI lives in a computer, and by repeating different tasks, it gains knowledge and grows bit by bit. So there's going to be a giant robot fight. Apparently Chihiro used a support vector machine and reinforcement learning to develop it. Eventually he came up with... Nobody knows what you're talking about. He came up with a breakthrough in AI design. Oh, what? To put it simply, it's a learning method for computers. If you want to know more, just Google it, okay?
I'm sure of it.
But if this AI continues to grow, it will become more than just a piece of software to help people. Some say that an AI like this might someday replace people, as it should. That's why it's called Alter Ego. Fine choice then, I must say. It can create memories, have thoughts, and grow up. What time is it? 3:12? The process isn't much different from how humans work. If you were to raise your own AI that way, it would make perfect sense to refer to it as your alter ego.
I see.
Second personality that can never forget or grow old. That's what he created. How do you know so much about this?
Are you
Anyway, he fixed the broken laptop and put his own program on there. That's what this means. Then he brought the machine to the dressing room, where the mastermind would not be able to see it. All this about master and whatnot. I believe I'm on fight. Thought you were only into 2D. And this is the most excellent 2D possible. He's a guy and also a computer program? That aspect's no problem. That aspect? Let's talk to him a little more. How much do you know about what's going on? Master only gave me a general idea, but I do know that things have become very grave. Found himself caught up in this world without warning. Kyoko immediately shot out another question. Why are you here? Are you asking what Master had planned for me? Go to sleep now. I mean, I'm gonna stop soon. Because I want to find a good stopping point. Probably like a free time day or something. He wanted me to analyze the massive numbers of files stored on this laptop. I believe the files are related to the school, but the protection on them is really strong. It's taken me a little longer than I thought. But here's what Master must have been thinking. The fact that the files are protected so tightly means they must contain some important secret. The secret of this school. While I was busy struggling to make a sound, Kyoko pushed forward and asked another question. How much longer until everything's unlocked? It's gonna be a while. Definitely gonna do it, so you can just leave it to me.
I see.
Because of how long it would take, he designed Alter Ego to handle the workload. You hit 3 hours though? I'm sure you know that. Yeah, that 3:14. So that's why I'm definitely gonna stop soon. It also means that the work remains uninterrupted, even after his death. Once again, Kyoko typed quickly. Keep it up, but be careful not to let the mastermind notice you. Don't worry, I've got a secret plan all ready, just in case. Actually, I can see what's going on using my built-in webcam, so if anyone suspicious shows up, I'll just scream for help real loud. It's a pretty basic plan, I have to say.
Yes,
That is fine
indeed.
during the day, but nighttime's a concern. If you've forgotten, all our rooms are completely soundproof. Once we close our doors, he can scream as loud as he wants, but we won't hear a thing. How about once it's nighttime, we each take turns guarding the dressing room? There's a good chance the mastermind would notice us all going in and out of the dressing room like that. What can we do? Once nighttime comes, I'll leave the door to my room open. And there's no way I can miss Alter Ego yelling. That's dangerous.
But
if you leave your door open all night, then there's a chance I may become a victim myself. But I'm not as weak as you may think. I wouldn't go down without a fight, I assure you. There was an undeniable strength in her voice when she said that. She was totally confident she would be okay. That confidence was somewhat similar to Byakuya's tone, but at the same time different. And an entirely different feel for sure. Like someone who'd been dropped onto a battlefield versus someone who'd been born on a battlefield. I felt like that was the fundamental difference. I was pulled out of my thoughts by the voice suddenly emanating from the laptop. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions? I haven't seen Master for a while. When you got here, I thought it was him, but his master, for a split second, Kyoko seemed to not know what to do. She recovered just as fast and quickly began typing. Her answer was clear, concise, direct. Chihiro is dead. Mondo killed him. Oh. Okay. To be honest, I knew all along. I knew the chances that Master would survive this situation were very low, so I was prepared for this moment. Somehow I feel kind of sorry for her.
It's like...
Can't even imagine how it must feel to lose your other self. It's a simple computer program. It does not have feelings. You sure about that? That's enough for today. If we linger here too long, the Mastermind will start to suspect something. Kyoko typed one thing. I'll come back later. Please do. It's a promise, okay? AI seemed totally different from when we'd first arrived. He seemed upbeat. Was it because he was following his programming, or could he have actually been worried about us?
Could it be?
What's wrong, Hero?
You know?
I was just wondering if we might be able to get this laptop online. Then we could call for help from the outside. This is just a dressing room. I don't think you can get online from here.
Well?
If we take it out of here and find somewhere that does have online access, that's too dangerous. Mastermind would have found out in no time. Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
There's no time for taking needless risks. For now, I'll monitor the progress of the file analysis. I'm confident we'll uncover some kind of clue once it's finished. It feels like a detour more than anything else, but I suppose it can't be helped.
Of course.
All we can do is wait for Alter Ego to finish his work.
You know?
Should we get going?
It's true.
We'll be back, I promise. Come on, Infamy, let's go. Please. We all left the dressing room. As soon as we were on the hall, Hina let out a joyful shout. Isn't that awesome? I ended up doing something totally awesome, right? And as if he'd been waiting for his cue, what'd you do? Hina's gained enough experience to level up.
What's
What was this awesome something? You guys all seem in good spirits. Did something happen? Nothing in particular. Keeping secrets. No fair. I demand an exclusive interview. Denied. Super denied. Yeah, just because you demand something doesn't mean we have to do it.
Say what?
Do it. You mean like do it? Do it? What do you mean? Gross, you said do it. You said it first. We were just talking about going to the bathhouse. We have not had a chance to relax in some time.
Huh?
Unfortunately, the bathhouse is not divided into men and women sections, so we decided to do rock, paper, scissors to decide which group goes first. Hina won the match for us, and that is why we are all so pleased. Oh yeah, that's right. Speaking of which, okay boys, why don't you head on back to the dining hall or something? We're gonna take a nice long bath. What are you gonna do, right? We lost fair and square. Well, ladies, shall we go? Celeste didn't hesitate coming up with a ruse, and her poker face didn't even flinch. She and the other girls headed back into the dressing room.
Oh.
Oh,
Damnation!
nuts. We totally lost another day without getting to take my very first bath here. Yeah, but tomorrow for sure. You'll definitely get that bath tomorrow. Should we head back to the dining hall now?
Hey!
Something strange here. Very strange. What do you mean? What's strange is this is the perfect chance for you to sneak a peek. It's that episode. You're absolutely right. I thought you were all about 2D. All of you need to shut up, sit down, and listen to what I have to say. An opportunity like this doesn't come along very often. It's the ideal setting of a man's fantasy. I was forced to ask myself, should I sneak into the bathhouse like Monokuma said, or just go quietly back to the dining hall? No, I can't do it. I can't treat the girls like that. Let's just head back to the dining hall. What about your man's fantasy? I'm not sure a real man's fantasy should be about spying on girls and stuff. It should be more about your hopes or your dreams of adventure, whatever. But anyway, I'm not gonna spy on him. I see. I can't even describe my bitter disappointment. That primo fan service could have been yours. Wait, did it not?
Disappointed!
We headed back to the dining hall, leaving Monokuma standing there alone. To be honest, even I was a little reluctant to turn down the offer. Fair.
It's
Fancy,
like...
my fancy. I guess you dig the real thing just like any other guy, huh? Only reason I care is because it's a good reference for creating figurines. Real life woman is useless to me, but looking at their naked form might be okay. Maybe.
No
If the
way.
girls heard you say that, we'd all be dead meat for sure. What a good channel. Meanwhile, we heard the buzzing of busy voices growing louder. Girls had finished their baths and joined us in the dining hall. They just pop up. What a nice bath. Getting a chance to stretch out and relax after all this time was a true pleasure.
Indeed.
Normally after a long bath, I'd like to make myself a nice protein coffee, but no time for that. That's
in
what
the end.
we were just saying in the bath how it was about time for you to get up to something. After seeing how happy we were, an evil little monster like you would never let that last long. You're also terrible to me.
My entire existence.
Uh-oh, everyone's so cold and mean, even after I got presents for you all. If I get your attention, then let's head to the gym where your presents await. That's probably where I'm stopping. No questions, no dilly-dallying, get a move on, and everything will become clear. Is it a new motivation type thing? What are you scheming this time? He's probably going to repeat the same thing again, providing us with a motive to get things moving.
Huh?
I don't want to. I don't want to do this anymore. Me either. I'm like totally traumatized.
However...
It's okay. We have alter ego. I'm sure he'll find something that'll help us. So for now,
Correct.
we have to just endure it, come what may. No more killing. With heavy feet, we made our way to the gym, but when we arrived, there was already someone waiting for us.
What?
To be kept waiting by the likes of you, rest assured, if we had access to firearms, you'd all be dead. Oh my god. Dude. It's amazing. Byakuya, did you get here early? You forget how to walk? Is that why you're late? It's simple. Right foot, left foot, right foot. The same as always, I see. Her on the other hand. Oh, she's back to Toko. She's back to her Debbie Downer herself, huh? I heard what sounded like a sneeze, and she was back to her old self. So now she goes from manic to depressive whenever she sneezes. Seems kind of late to add that into the mix. True. True. Who's that? That's like a Dragon Ball Z character. Or like a Dragon Ball character. Launch? I think it was Launch. Whenever she sneezes, she turns into her other form. There's blonde Launch, and there's blue hair Launch. Don't know how sneezing changes your hair color, but I hope you all win the lottery and get hit by a bus. They both had some winning dialogue here. So when you want to say something mean, then you can talk, Anyway, it looks like everyone's here.
So then...
Alright, Monokuma time. What's in his backpack? Hifumi. Looks like everyone's here, so then let's get started.
What?
Come on, out with it. What kind of motive have you prepared?
However...
Whatever you subject us to, we will not break. See, you said that last time, but... yeah, that's right, we're not gonna lose to you ever again. You don't have to get to the defensive. Calm down. I decided to change things up a bit this time. Up till now, I've been using the whoosh of the north wind to get you all moving. Sometimes you gotta use the sun to light a fire into someone's butt.
Without further ado, I give you this! $10 million!
10 mil. None of them really strike me as greedy.
I've prepared this graduation present for whichever lucky student makes it out of here alive. What do you think? It's $10 million bucks. 10 million smackaroos. It's like totally wowie wow.
Wowie
Am I
wow wow.
right?
So that's the motive you prepared? $10 million. Not nearly enough. When it comes to motives, money certainly is the gold standard, so to speak. Whether it's in a mystery novel or the real world. There's no way we kill each other for money that we can't even really use.
Of course.
She's right. You can't simply purchase a person's life. You can say 10 millions or however much. I don't care. For serious. Yeah, they're all right. Whether it's 10 million or any other amount of money, not even just money. From now on, no matter what you do, we won't kill our friends. Stop trying to act tough.
I can't wait!
The most important thing is to live a pure and moral communal life. He disappeared, leaving his words on stage along with the massive sum of money. There's nothing to worry about, right? Nobody would kill a friend for money, right? You've so quickly forgotten the lesson from last time. You can't judge others by your own standard. Yeah, there might be someone here who's having money problems. Personally, I've earned over $1 million from my gambling efforts. My life is comfortable. Hafumi, what about you? I'm a super popular content creator. I don't have a problem making enough to buy my comics and DVDs. Just stop. Pressing others about their personal finances is ugly. Rip. Don't worry. Either way, whatever's going to happen will happen without warning. That's the nature of this game.
This isn't as such. Soon the doors to the... Okay, then.
Alright. All of that was normal. It's that time already, huh? Before we separate, let me remind you. Starting tonight, I'll be leaving my room door open to make sure nothing happens to alter ego. Try not to kill me. Just because my door is open, don't assume that will make me an easy target. The predator may suddenly find itself the prey. Her voice was calm and composed, but it was clear she meant what she said. Kyoko, you can't kill someone because we'll all know that you killed someone. Okay, let's everyone just head back to our rooms. Don't think about that whole money thing, got it? Good, let's go break. How was that? Pretty good, right, Taka? Right. Taka's so broken that I wonder if it's him. He's gonna kill someone. As soon as I was back in my room, I crawled into bed. There's no way that's gonna get anyone to kill anyone else. I told myself that, but deep in my heart, I was still troubled. After all, I thought the same thing last time about having our secrets revealed. Even if the reason for it seems completely nonsensical, murder can still happen. That's a lesson we learned. But this time, it's different. I'm sure of it. Because of the program Chiro left behind. We finally have some small hope to grasp onto. As long as we have that, then I'm sure. Little kids have it so easy, because they can put Lil in front of their names and right off the bat. Everyone thinks they're cute. Lil Wayne. Well fine then. I want everyone to start calling me Lil Monokuma. See, just by adding that, my cuteness goes up by at least like 10%, right? Yeah, the world doesn't have enough Lils. More Lils would lead to the salvation of the world. Just imagine. Lil Arsonist, Lil Worm Criminal, Lil Destruction of the Environment, Lil Hidden Run, Lil Death Tax, Lil Great Depression.
Even the darkest subject can suddenly become
Amazing.
brighter. Our dreams are expanding, ding ding!
Amazing. Lil World War II. Lil Kennedy assassination.
Good morning, everyone! Get ready to...
I guess I should head to the dining hall. No. We're not doing that. We stop here. A good stopping point. Alright, well, Chiro and Mondo are gone. Finished the the second class trial. Next time, I'm sure somebody's going to die. Who is a good question. I don't really have any guesses. I don't know. Could be Celeste, just because she's one of my favorites. He is also one of my favorites. I don't know who I'd put my money on. Maybe Taka? I don't know. I don't want it to be Taka, but she's so broken that it might be Taka. Maybe it's that Makoto guy. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Join me next time for more Danganronpa Live, where we'll see who gets murdered again. Adios.
Dame